What is up, guys? It is Kellen and Jeremy here from Start Your Systems with another MX Simulator tutorial video. This week we are doing whoop sections, which was a very asked for topic in our previous tutorial videos. First up, we're going to look at JLV whoops, which are very small and easy to get on top of. And I mean, kind of like the on-offs, all you need to do is get on top and pin it.
Yeah, JLV whoops compared to the whoops now are a lot easier. Just like Colin said, get on top, and you don't really have to lean back or time the leaning back or anything. You just get on top, and you can basically get into third gear pinned and be fine.
Yeah, on a 450 or a 250, really, you don't have to worry too much about what gear you're in, as opposed to like newer whoops, which sometimes if you're too high gear, you'll get all kicked off. Like, for example, the 2014 whoops, and I'm going to take a look at the 14 whoops at Atlanta, which were huge. I think they're the same whoops as San Diego. I actually checked with that earlier, but I'm not sure. And this one, you can see I kind of dropped my front wheel after the first one, but it's really important to keep your front end like on top of the whoops. Your back end can drop, but you don't want to drop the front wheel. Like, you want to get that front wheel on top.
Yeah, timing in these whoops is everything. Once you get on the top of them, you kind of want to try to lean back on every single whoop, because if not, you can get a little bit out of shape and it can get kind of hairy.
Yeah, and we'll see that later. I'm going to do a little segment at the end of this video about saving crashes. But right now I'm going to talk about like how changing your setup can definitely help you in the whoops. And with an emphasis on your spring rate, I think is what we guessed here, is that on your shock, if you have a medium or high or whatever spring rate, depending on your other settings, that can really help with rebounding the rear end. You want to have a stiff fork setup and kind of a soft rear setup, and then your rider mats at the bottom can also help with that. You just kind of need to find something that works for you. And then you can see here on short whoops how, again, timing is very important. Is like I kind of jump over that second whoop and land right on top of the third whoop, and if you stay in first gear on a 450, I think these are second on a 250, I'm not sure. It's a lot easier to ride through these.
Yep, exactly. If you were to just get on that second whoop, you see how he's jumping over right now. If you were to get on the second, you'd lose a lot of time, so you kind of got to like seat bounce over that and just get on the top and lean back like the 2014 whoops.
Yeah, and the short whoops this year so far have been pretty easy for the most part. Like Anaheim whoops were not too tough, but the long whoop sections, I mean, at least at Phoenix, these ones caused me some troubles. And you can see it's kind of the same story. I clipped the second whoop there, but if you can get right on top of them pretty quick and just stay right on the gas in first gear on a 450, you're not going to have too many problems, and you really want to hit them as straight as you can as well.
Yep, just try to hit them as straight as you possibly can. And if you're going too fast, even if you got to shift down a gear right before you get to the whoop sections, that's okay. Because if you're a gear too high, your back end can swap out super, super easy.
Yeah, and definitely like an emphasis on this is you can lean back, and it helps to save you, but not moving around a whole lot on the bike is really useful in the whoops, because that can really cause you to get off kilter and start like flailing about. As you can see here, when it comes to saving crashes, as soon as you start getting a little sideways, just the slightest movements can help or hurt you. Because I cleared the third whoop, and then I instantly start swapping, but you can kind of tell by the lean angle of the front wheel that I'm trying to like stand my rider back up the whole time and counteract it. It's really just a feel thing, and you got to be very touchy and careful when you do these.
Yeah, when I get a little bent out of shape in the whoops, I don't really have a certain technique to try to fix myself. I tend to lean back a little bit, but more times than not, that kind of hurts me. So I try to like slow down, maybe shift down a gear, and just hope for the best, I guess.
Yeah, and I mean, really, that kind of comes down to it when you get out of shape, is hoping for the best. But like here, you can kind of, save yourself a little bit, as you'll see in this whoop section, particularly in this side angle. When you get off kilter, like leaning back and trying to get your front wheel on top of the whoops again can really help you, and just stay on the gas and try to, correct yourself by using the thumbstick. It's really useful.
Yeah, the moral of the story, just try to get your front tire on the top of the whoops.
Yeah, and just pretty much pin it and hope, and you should make it to the end of whoops fine, and then hopefully our cornering tutorials really helped you. But thanks for watching. We got more tutorials coming.